So I just want to do a quick check here, because we are talking about war. So Sidon is not allied with anyone. Genoa is also not allied with anyone. So usually if I'm going to go pick on a city-state, or sorry, an AI, to pick up some more cities, I want to make sure that their allies aren't going to cause us trouble. And right now they won't, because they're not part of Washington's sphere of influence. So I just want to actually check this deal history to see what he's doing for deals. Um, he's got a deal for 6 gold per turn for furs that he's pulling in from Napoleon, except that Napoleon's friendly. And you should easily be able to pull up 9 gold per turn off Napoleon on that one. We'll have to go check to see how much cash they have. And again, only 30 gold for open borders, which sometimes happen. He's pulling 4 gold per turn for 176 gold with Napoleon. I have a feeling, yeah, he traded for a research agreement. That was all in the same turn, so obviously he fed Napoleon a bit of gold to ensure that he had it for the research agreement. So that's one. That'll come in a number of turns. It was on turn 141, so at 171 it'll appear. He's got some deals with Ramses for both a research agreement and for a luxury. So that'll be a number of turns later. And Napoleon and Washington. Washington is just a straight peace deal. There's no reason to work on that, actually. There's no research agreements or anything. Now, he could have wanted to sign another research agreement with Washington, but I would suggest no. I would actually use these 10 turns to heal his units. He's got quite a few that are hurt, so I can see that that's a bit of an issue. And I would actually move them all over and hit Atlanta first, followed by Philadelphia. Both of them have incense, so that'll, once they get monasteries in there, that'll be good. Plus, Atlanta has a lot of iron. And so does Seattle. So if he can do a 2-pronged attack on those cities, he can actually wipe out a lot of the iron that Washington has to boost Washington's ability to field longswordsmen. There is also a 2 iron close to Washington, so he could also walk in with a Mandu Cav and pillage it, and effectively wipe out Washington's ability to defend itself with longswords. That's my opinion, is to do a double strike versus Seattle and Atlanta walking through Philadelphia. Now, I say Atlanta first because Seoul can easily help out. Seoul has, musketmen, it's got pikemen, it's got the cannon. So it can easily help go pick up Atlanta. Or better yet, let Seoul take Atlanta so that Seoul will hand you all of that iron and the incense, and it'll be the one to deal with Washington. Now, granted, I would probably rather take it myself because of the incense there and the iron, but just in case, you can always do that. He's got a trade network here from Cume all the way up to Gen. Definitely linking in Rome to that trade network, and you can see that he's building the road there. Oh no, the road is there already, so that's actually good. Building the road down to New York is very important as well, and then into Antium to get all the trade networks up. You do need to get your populations up to around 4 or 5 at this point. To ensure, depending on distance, to ensure that the trade network works out cash-wise. But getting in some of those trade networks will, one, speed up your military units coming from your capital, because you can see there's a bit of a problem here given that he's got his Cume is his closest, no, not even that, sorry, Timbuktu is his closest city that he can buy units at, and then run them down. So that would be hard. But other than that, actually, we might be getting ahead of ourselves here. So I'm going to pop in to say hi to Napoleon in the trade screen, just to see what Napoleon has and what you can sell. So he's got an extra gem that he can sell because he's got 2. So you can easily sell that for gold to get more cash to speed things up. At least to Napoleon. With Ramses, he's got an extra fur, and Ramses has a lot of gold per turn. So I would definitely throw 9 gold per turn and 10 gold in there to maximize that. As well, Sol is handing him incense. So it looks like he sold off all his incense already, so that's good. But even with Washington,
Well,
he's obviously got
on.
some things he can sell, but Washington doesn't have a lot going on for them. Because at this point, if he does sell for gold for that fur and for the excess gem, he can actually say pick up Genoa as a city-state ally, even if temporarily, so that it'll actually attack Seattle with you, or hate the American AI to prevent the American AI from picking it up.
Yep.
So
to go, I think we should go to social policies now.
yeah, I'm definitely there.
So he has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 social policies, 7, sorry, patronage as well. And at this turn, I think it's very doable to get a cultural victory. But generally speaking, he needs to meet other AIs. He needs to make trade agreements with them for money. He has a lot of resource copies, like he has a lot of cotton. He can have 3 more cotton, so that can be sold as well. So he has to meet the other AIs and get cash and get cultural city-states as allies. And he has to really focus on getting those cultural buildings. That's really important.
But he definitely is on the right track social policy-wise if he wants to switch off to culture. Opening up freedom, followed by constitution, and then free speech. Those 3 are definitely where he wants to go in the next 3 policies. Free speech is where he'll get culture cost of future policies reduced by 25%, which, given that he has 3 settled cities, it's actually counting against him pretty hard on that one. So he absolutely needs to hit free speech here. Plus, because he'll have a wonder in his capital, Constitution will boost it as well.
I would like to see, as he's going for a cultural victory, which means his cities must be tuned for that, he could make better use of Constitution if he had a wonder in all 3 of his cities. And I think Timbuktu is more than capable of producing a wonder, and so would be Gen once it gets the stables. That will also really help, because then all 3 cities will get 100% boost in culture.
Definitely, and I'm looking at Timbuktu right now in the city screen, and you can see that he's starting to work towards a great engineer there as well, which is useful. He should stay focused on that. But more importantly, now that I'm looking at his cities, I don't know if this is just a factor of the save, but he's on default focus.
Yeah, he is.
And that is absolutely the wrong thing to be doing. I mean, you can see with Gao, it's filled up all of the specialist slots, and you can see with both Timbuktu and Gao, all of these different great people bars are getting filled slowly. And that's not necessarily good. The only way that'll work out is if you happen to hit 2 or 3 of them at the exact same time. And because you'll get all 2 or 3, but it'll boost you up in your
points requirements. Yes.
Yeah, definitely do not use default focus. Depending on what you're doing, you'd want to switch to production focus minimum. You can still use it as long as you're producing food and everything else. And even for the manual, I would go to manual specialist control here. And if you want a great engineer to light that up, or even the great scientists, that could be an important first 2 great people to be able to, because you can see he's building a university here in Timbuktu. So once he gets that up, if he lines up both Gao and Timbuktu for great scientists by putting them both the specialist slots filled and doing manual specialist control, he'll actually be able to put them out one right after another.
Yes, I would even go for an engineer here first, just to get that engineer and rush a wonder in one of these cities, because that engineer will basically be not just giving out that wonder, but also the 100% bonus to culture from Constitution.
Yeah.
In this case only. Maybe in some other cases, scientists would be much better.
Yeah. At this point, he's only got Timbuktu would be the piece that would do that, but he's only getting 3 per turn in Timbuktu for towards that, and it would still take him another 33, 34 turns before he gets it. So if you look at your production, he is on the river there, so he can actually go with a garden. And that will boost it as well. If he wants, he can also build the national epic there. There's nothing saying that the national epic has to be in your capital. So between the two, he'd get plus 50% great people generation, and that can help boost up getting his great engineer there.
Yep, that sounds like a very good plan actually, yes, yes.
I would finish the university first to get your science going. Because if we look at the science right now, he's at 102 on turn 154, which is not bad. But I would definitely finish the university because he's got a good pop in that in Timbuktu. So finish university first to get the boost.
Yep.
And then move on.
Although science is not as important in culture games, it's still very important to get actually to all the techs, to defend yourself, to build some very important buildings, and later to get to some important techs like the telegraph and radio. But in general, you still need tech even if you're not going for the science victory. So yes.
Yeah, because in normal culture games, you can generally use research agreements if you're not fighting to blast you up to archaeology really quickly, and then work from there. But to seriously get up to where are we radio for the for the broadcast towers, or to telegraph for the Cristo Redentor, which in this case would also be very useful to pick up. So because the culture cost of adopting new policies is reduced by 25%, and because he has 3 cities, he's probably going to need it. He's definitely going to need research agreements to plow through, plus get his science fairly high. By about turn 200, you really want roughly 200 beakers per turn. So he'll have to do quite a bit to speed that up.
Yep, so to answer his question, yes, the cultural victory is achievable, most definitely, but he has to work on it right now. He has to get more money, get more cultural allies. He has to speed up his research rate by building more universities and signing in more scientists which work on also great scientist points as well as science, and he has to build up his empire. He now has quite a lot of land. He's second in land in the whole world, so he'll have enough land. He has enough power. His tech pace will pick up. So, in my opinion, the cultural win is quite possible, with the only exception that he has to take care that someone doesn't win some other victory type first.
Yeah, definitely. Just make sure you get your social policies lined up and your tech path lined up. And definitely research agreements to get the right techs where possible. And you'll be just fine.
Yep. So that's it, guys. See you in the next video.
Okay, great.
I hope you learned something from these comments. I know, actually, I learned some things as well, because I rarely analyze into this much detail the games I play. So this was good stuff.
Okay. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you in the next video.